Rugby Hall of Famer, Mr. Ferguson Murphy. Feel better now? Good. Remembering Ronnie. Put those two words together and boy, does that put a whole lot of memories. We go back to our childhood, remembering, and the faces when we saw surrounding Ronnie of our childhood heroes. They're right here. What a panel we have right here. You guys played more games together than any two fellas in the history of baseball, and talk about Ronnie as a kid, the first time you ran into him.
We did, Wayne. As was stated, that Ronnie and I started out together in 1959 in San Antonio, Texas. And Ronnie came down. I had signed with the Cubs since 1956, right out of high school. And after a couple of years, Ronnie joined the team down in San Antonio, Texas, and we became friends at that time. I'd like to Roger Honda, who put a thumbs up on both of us. He told that story many times that when Roger Honda came down and he put a stamp of approval on Santo and I to come to the big league and help Ernie to score some runs here with the Chicago Cubs. And I think because a lot of people began to talk about Santo and Williams coming to the big league and going to be some standout players with the Chicago Cubs, I think more and more we became a team, because everywhere that I went, Santo went. Everywhere that Santo went, we played on the same team for the last 3 years before we got to the big league. And of course, when we got to the big league, we teamed up with Ernie. That was 30 home runs apiece. Ernie hit 30, I hit 30, Ronnie hit 30, we scored a lot of runs. And through that time, we played more games in the Major League. I'm talking about Ronnie and I. If you put the games together that we played in the Major League, you could compare with any two players on any ball club that have played in the Major League throughout, since Major League was there. Ronnie and I played in more games than any two individuals on the Major League Baseball team. The thing is, remembering Ronnie, you know, it's a great loss to the Chicago Cubs. And of course, a lot of these guys befriended Ronnie over the years. And I know that when I first came in contact with him, our friendship grew. As the years grew, our friendship grew. And of course, he always hit fourth, I hit third. There were times that he hit fourth, I hit third. But we enjoyed the baseball season together. And I was telling somebody the other day, if you played longer than 6 months out of a year, you spend more time with your teammates than your family. So Ronnie and I, we enjoyed each other. There was a time for laughter, a time for crying, but we got through it all. We enjoyed each other.
join us. That looks a lot like Randy Hunley. Beck was Ronnie's roommate on the road. I don't think there's any stories at all that you can come up with about our friend, Mr. Beckert.
Ronnie roomed with Beck's bed.
Or Randy. I'm sorry.
Beck was never in the blooming room.
Why am I sitting next to Holly? I do have a story about Ron, my roommate. We were not only friends during the season, we were great friends afterwards. We did the same thing, snowmobile and skate and stuff. But anyway, Ronnie was in the major leagues 5 years before I arrived in '65. And we was there and he said, Glenn, he said, Beck, how about rooming with me? And I said, what an honor that is. The room was even on a team, because I was thrilled, absolutely thrilled. I called my parents and told them what was happening. It was thrilling. But a year later, I found out nobody else on the team wanted to room with me.
Wait a minute. Beck's got to tell you this story. Share with them the story in Philadelphia that night you were hanging out somewhere in the... We got to go on that.
My ex-wife was that, so I know that. Anyway, I was over 22. And I ran into a lady who worked for United Airlines, and she was transferred to Philadelphia, and I talked with her. We ended up going out and having a bite to eat, a few drinks, and then we went dancing. Then we went back to her apartment. Well, it's about...
You can stop now.
2:30 in the morning, and I said, let me have the phone, I want to call for a cab. She said, well, you don't have to, it's only as short as about 2.5, 3 blocks, and it's a safe area, just walk. So I said, decide to walk. So there's some traffic lights and a few cars, very few, and I stopped at the light. Second light, I get to a big dog, golden retrievers. It's right next to me. I pet the dog follows me the next light. He sits down, I pet him, I said, that's fine. You're coming in with me. So I take him in the hotel door, and the night manager said, young man, you cannot bring a dog in here unless you're legally blind. I said, well, take a damn good look at me. Anyway, we up the elevator, I go to the bathroom, get the dog some water, I brush my teeth, jump in bed. The next morning, I heard a scream like Ron Santo. His dog was sitting on his face, licking his face. He said, Beck, I've seen you with some dogs before.
Ernie, remember Ronnie?
Oh, these stories here are some of the greatest memories of my life, being with these guys and Ronnie Santo, seeing Billy and Ronnie come into the major leagues to play was just a joy, like togetherness and fun. And that's what I always say, let's play too. I really don't want to leave the ballpark, being with these guys. I mean, they were just so much fun. I learned a lot from Billy and Ronnie. I mean, they were always at each other, had a competitive spirit. Billy hit a home run, Ronnie hit a home run. I mean, they went back and forth. And it was just wonderful to see that, and with Randy Hunley and Jose and all of us. It was just a fun time. It was my family. I come from a Loyce family, and playing for this team with these guys was just really, really fun. Everything was fun. Now, my stories about Ronnie was I learned things from him. He was a great player, highly competitive. He just played so hard every day. He walked on that field. And I got connected with him because he won the game that I hit my 500 home run. He got the hit to win the game. And I just grabbed him and said, God, thanks. He won the game that I hit my 500 home run. So we became connected that way. He came to my birthday party. I I came to his. We were just close. He was in business. I met his son. My son worked with his son in California, and we just really got connected. So he was like a brother to me. And even now that he's gone, friendships are always there. I always think about him. He's gone, but he's still my friend. I think a lot of him. And I learned a lot from him. His tenacity and his determination, his love for people, his desire and all that. When he lost his mom and dad coming down to spring training, I mean, I saw him go through all that. From all of that, I learned toughness and togetherness and love and friendship from him. And he was a great, great person.
Talk about Ronnie as a teammate. Well, I met Ronnie in 1965, and I found out he could hit fastball. I was with the Philadelphia Phillies at the time, and I was pitching out of the bullpen. And my first trip to Chicago was the second game of the series, and Dick Ellsworth had pitched and got in trouble. And I came in behind Chris Short with the Phillies, and the score was tied 3-3, and I pitched the ninth and got Ernie and Billy out. Bottom of the 10th, 2-2 fastball to Santo, a wind-blown home run to Wrigley Field. And I said to myself, I don't want to pitch in this ballpark. That ball was 6 months later, Chicago Cub. But my one story about Ronnie, this happened in 1968. We had an off day, and Ronnie and Lou Johnson and Rich Nye and Billy Williams, and there was about 6 of us. We're going to go riding horses, riding the academy. And I raised some horses, and we're going to go ride. And we get to this particular stable, and the guy that owned the horses gave me this mare that weighed about 1,100 pounds. She couldn't run, and I wanted her to run. I kicked her a few times, and she didn't run. We're out there in the desert, and she starts to run. And she runs into Rich Nye's horse, and then stops and turns around and wants to go back to the corral. And I can't pull her up. And the end result, I just gave her a head. I just let her go, let her go. And Ronnie said, hey, look, check out Fergie, he can ride. I was hauling butt, believe me. And we get almost to the stable, and there's an asphalt walkway, and I didn't want to pull her up. So I just gave her a head. She went left, and I went right. And the end result, I had a contusion on my head and shoulder. The guys took me to the local hospital there in Scottsdale, and I ended up going back to the room, and Ted Savage is my roommate during spring training, and I said, Ted, man, tomorrow morning, go to the ballpark. I'm going to catch hell, but I'm going to the ballpark. In between that, the Rochefort found out the team was on the road in spring training, and Leo looked at me, and I looked at Leo, and he says, opening days in 5 days, you're going to be able to pitch? I said, I don't think so, Skip. John Holland was going to fine me $1,000. I was only making $6,000 at the time. And Leo vowed to never give the guys an off day after that. And when you had to go somewhere, you were on the team bus. It was to Yuma or to Tucson. We made all the road trips, and he always made sure 31 was on the bus. So my remembrance of Ronnie was very good. I mean, a great teammate. His son phoned me the afternoon. He was going to lose his toes on one leg, and then they went to the ankle and then higher. And I just couldn't believe Ronnie. He was able to handle that situation, which he really did. And then a year or so later, he lost his second leg. And I know